Now everyone shopping for their first e-bike asks the same question. Which one has more power? 750 watts, 1100 watts, 1800 watts? Now, after spending a month on both a bike with 1100 and 1800 watts, I think that's the wrong question. The one question I think matters is which one of these will you actually ride? Because the one that I keep reaching for wasn't the bike with the bigger motor and the bigger battery. Now, after spending a month on both a bike with 1100 and 1800 watts, I think that's the wrong question. The one question I think matters is which one of these will you actually ride? Because the one that I keep reaching for wasn't the bike with the bigger motor and the bigger battery. And three things help decide this. Starting with one that you feel before you even get it out of the box. Now, quick thanks goes out to Aipas for sending these bikes over for me to take a look at. So here's the first problem that you might encounter, and you'll definitely feel it before you even remove it from the box. Now, spec sheets can't really tell you that the fact that matters most on day one is how hard the bike is to move. Now, Aipas lists the M2 Pro at 90 pounds. Now, all that weight you're lifting onto a hitch rack, into the back of a van, catching it when it tips, or muscling up some steps. While on the other hand, the C1 Max is only 65 pounds. That's about 25 pounds lighter. And it's not just the weight of the frame, it's a smaller motor, smaller batteries, and the 2-inch city tires instead of the M2 Pro's 4-inch fat tires. It's just less bike to haul around and deal with when you're not riding it. And that lighter weight also shows up the moment that you're moving slow, whether you're walking it through a garage or riding it around a parked car. The M2 Pro's fatter tires push back at lower speeds, while the C1's thinner city tires just maneuver wherever you point them. And for a first-time rider, that's the difference between confident and clumsy. But being easy to move doesn't matter if you're scared to get on it. Which brings us to item number 2, and it starts with how you climb on board the bike. Now, the scariest moment when you first get on an e-bike isn't the riding, it's everything right before it. Can you get on the bike without tipping over? What happens when you twist the throttle? The M2 Pro doesn't really do much to settle those nerves. It's a regular frame with a tall top tube that you have to swing your leg entirely over, and a top speed of up to 36 miles an hour. Now, confident riders love that, but first-time riders feel it as a thing that might get away from me, especially when you're still learning how the pedal assist kicks in and when it cuts out, and how to actually stop these. Now, the C1 Max is a step-through design. You actually step through the frame instead of swinging your leg over that top bar. So getting on and off allows you to plant both feet on the ground and feels much more effortless. Add to that an adjustable handle stem and a preset 20-mile-an-hour top speed. This is enough to keep pace with most city traffic, but not enough to feel like it's going to get away from you. A smaller mower actually feels less intimidating. And with the adjustable pedal assist, you bring the power up as your confidence grows, instead of just meeting it all at once. Now, both bikes actually have 5 different levels of pedal assist that you can adjust on your own while you're riding the bike. That's great because you can adapt it depending on what type of terrain you're on or how comfortable you feel. This is exactly what I watched happen. Both my wife and my oldest son didn't hesitate on getting on this bike. They don't have to haul their leg over a high seat and no white knuckling on the first ride. They just got on and started riding like a regular bike. And that's the whole game for your first e-bike, the one that feels safe and the one that you'll keep coming back to. So it's lighter and easier to get on, but there's still the obvious objection. Only 1100 watts. Is that actually enough? And that's the item number 3, where the C1 Max really surprised me. So here's the objection I know you're having, because I had it too. 1100 watts is lower than 1800 watts. Isn't that a huge gap? Isn't this smaller bike just underpowered? On paper, that looks like a compromise, but when it comes to the actual ride, it didn't really feel that underwhelming. I've tried other e-bikes that have much smaller motors, and those definitely feel like they don't have enough power. That doesn't seem to be the case here. And here's what I noticed after riding the bike for about a month. Watts stop mattering long before you'll actually notice. The C1 Max still has 90 Newton meters of torque to allow you to pull away from a stop clearly. And it climbed every hill on my normal route all the way through my neighborhood without me wishing for more power. That extra 700 watts on the M2 Pro really isn't buying you a faster commute. A lot of times you're capped by the law and just common sense. What it is buying you is off-road capability, which is a real thing, but just not this bike's job. Now, one area that both of these bikes have in common is the range. They both claim between 45 and 85 miles of range on a single charge. Now, this range wildly depends based on the weight of the rider, how much pedal assist you used, and what type of terrain you're on. Now, in my normal day-to-day life, I really am not going to push it past a couple miles, so I haven't had a chance to really test out this range, but it does make a lot of sense based on the size of the battery and the size of the motor. But in my opinion, that's plenty for people who are just taking this for a commute or errands. So I've kind of made the case for a smaller bike today, but before we ride off the bigger one, am I even comparing these two fairly? So let's dig into what you get with each of these bikes. Just a quick bit of insight, here's how Aipas's lineup actually works. The letter in the title actually means the difference between the style of bike. The C series is the commuting series, while the M is the off-road. And they also have a new F series, which is actually folds up in half. That's great for throwing in the back of your car. And the number, well, at least on these two bikes, it's the difference in the frame. And one designates a step-through, and the two is a traditional. So other than that, each of the series is pretty much the same bike. So if you get an M1, it's gonna have all the same features with just a step-through frame. Same thing with the C series. You can get the C1 here with the step-through, or a C2 if you want that extra support. But of course, the C1 Max and the M2 Pro aren't in the same class. So why did I put them head to head? Well, I did that on purpose. First of all, it's because of the two bikes that I actually have. And second of all, that's the real world that a first-time buyer is gonna look at. Do I wanna go with the easy commuter and maybe give up some off-road capabilities? Or do I go with the bigger bike with everything and it's a little bit more unruly on my day-to-day commute? And that's the decision I had to make. Originally, when I had the option to select between the two, I picked the larger bike because for a heavier rider like me, I assumed I needed that extra power. So everything that makes the M2 Pro a lot of bike in the driveway is exactly what makes it the right bike off the pavement. Those 4-inch fat tires that fought me at lower speeds, they're fantastic over gravel, loose dirt, and roots. That's not really an area where the C1 is designed to go. And it's equipped with the 1800 watt motor and 110 newton meters of torque. So you can achieve higher speeds and climb bigger hills. Like I said before though, you don't really need that for commuting. But it's absolutely necessary for a steep, loose climb with a loaded rack. It also comes with full suspension in the front and the back, and that soaks up a lot of bumps and terrain where the C1 Max isn't built for that. So if you're riding on trails, hunting, off-grid, or hauling real weight over rough ground, the M2 Pro isn't overkill, it's just another tool. So before we talk price, a quick look at what you actually get with these bikes. Because a lot of this is easy to miss unless you own one. Plus, if you haven't catched my earlier review, you may not know this. Both bikes are street legal out of the box, but make sure you check with your local laws because some communities are changing their rules. Now, there are two things worth calling out. Both of them are equipped with a real 7-speed Shimano drivetrain, so you can pedal without the motor or stretch the battery for a longer ride. It also helps make the pedal assist feel more comfortable when you're riding at higher speeds. They're both equipped with a key-locked removable battery, so the C1 Max differs from the M2 with an all-in-one screen. All of your buttons for pedal assist and power are on the screen, along with a smaller display. But you still get the same information. It also has that adjustable stem I talked about earlier, which helps get the handlebar into a more comfortable position. Both of them have an adjustable front fork and adjustable front suspension, whereas the M2 adds that rear suspension. So let's look into the all-important decision. Who should buy each bike? So I'd say buy the C1 Max if this is your first e-bike. If you're commuting or running around on pavement or light gravel, or if it's a bike that more than one person in your house is going to share. This has been great because my 12-year-old, who admittedly is huge for his age, can handle the bike without any problems. We went out for a nice night ride to check out some new playground equipment that they installed at our school, and he had a blast. Now the C1 Max comes in at a normal sale price of $859. And at that price point, I feel like it does enough for most people, and it has the bonus of not being something that you're going to feel intimidated about and just leave in the garage. Now I would say check out the M2 Pro if you genuinely ride a lot off-road, you haul heavy loads over rough terrain, or you're an experienced rider who really needs every bit of that 1800 watts. It has a standard sale price of $949, so you're paying just a little bit more for capability, but also some additional weight. So make sure you're going to use it. So my honest take, for most first-time buyers, I think the C1 Max is more than enough bike for you. Not because the M2 Pro is bad, but because it might be more bike than you actually need. And I'd hate to see you spend money on something you don't actually use. For most folks I've seen around my neighborhood, something like this is perfect. So last week, my wife and I took a nice ride up to the pool while the kids were in school. And one of our neighbors stopped to ask us about the bikes. She asked us, how do they work? Are they hard to ride? Do you guys actually use them? Not one question came up about specs, watts, torque, or top speed. She just wanted to know how it felt to ride and is it something that she could manage. That's the whole thing. So a month in, the lesson wasn't the cheaper bike is better or more power is better. It's that the numbers that everyone shops for, watts, torque, and top speed, aren't really the numbers that decide whether a bike becomes part of your life. Light enough to feel comfortable, easy enough to get on, powerful enough for how you actually ride it. That's the bike you keep coming back to. And for my house, that's the C1 Max. So the real question isn't how much bike has more power, it's the one that I asked at the start. Which one will you actually ride? If you're an e-bike owner, let me know down in the comments what's been stopping you from riding more. Is it the size of the bike, the price, the weather? I mean, it's been ungodly hot here in the last couple weeks, so it's been very difficult to get out and ride. So I completely understand. If you are interested in checking out one of these bikes, I've got links down in the description, and those of course go to help the channel. Thanks again to Aipas for sending over the bikes for me to take a look at. It's been awesome to work with them, and I hope to check out their folding bike later this year. And if you have landed here because you want to take a look at the bigger off-road bike, you can take a look at my full M2 Pro review right over here in the corner. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.